Hi Gemini, welcome to my channel, The Fool's Journey Tarot. Today is Sunday, April 19th, 2020. This is a general love reading for the sign of Gemini for this upcoming week in April. If you're brand new to my channel or unfamiliar, first of all, welcome. Behind me is Carmela. She's on top of her cage right now, joining me for your reading. There is more specific information in the description box below if you're craving some more specific things regarding my readings and my videos. Check down there. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and viewing more of my videos. I appreciate your support, more than you know, Gemini. So I do want to remind all of my viewers that this is a general reading, so it can pertain to anything. Relationships, situations, and circumstances surrounding family, home, work, social circle, community, whatever you can think of, it might apply. Also be flexible with the energy. Don't be concerned about the gender of the cards or the pronouns I'm using to describe them. You can interchange the roles within the reading. In other words, you might be represented by any of the characters that shows up in the cards, which means you may feel like I'm reading for you, but you also might feel like you're cross-watching for somebody that you're dealing with. My intention is to reach those that need the message and will benefit in some way, shape, or form with the information that's given. So hopefully it will resonate for you. Maybe just parts of the reading will resonate. Hopefully at the end, you'll have something to walk away with that will be helpful to you, Gemini, okay? That is my intention. So we're going to get started. I want to give this deck one more shuffle, and then we'll see what's going on with Gemini. Here we go. Okay, Gemini, we're going to start off with the Five of Cups in your underlying energy paired with the Queen of Swords. Page of Swords in reverse. The Two of Swords in reverse. Two of Wands. The Lovers in reverse. The Star. And the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, Gemini, so I do feel like you're dealing with some grief, some sorrow, some heartache surrounding possibly a relationship, maybe a separation, something that's gone wrong in a connection. I feel like you might be making a decision regarding the situation, or maybe feeling like you don't have the ability to make a decision, or maybe you feel like you're just not ready with this Page of Swords, Two of Swords in reverse. I feel like you are maybe trying to make some head over heart decisions with this Queen of Swords energy. I do feel like this is you. Queen of Swords is somebody who's very intelligent, kind of leaves emotions at the door when it comes to expressing herself. She stands her ground. She's very strong energy. Again, very intelligent, very good at communicating. Doesn't mince her words, doesn't deal with bullshit. This person can see deceit and lies from a mile away, so don't try to pull one over on her. I do feel like this individual is dealing with some grief, but she's doing it in a very removed way. In other words, she's not allowing this grief to get to her. She is, again, kind of maybe trying to make sense of something. Maybe trying to work through something without allowing the emotions to influence her or influence the decision that she has before her. Because I do feel like there's a decision to be made. And there's hope for positive movement forward or some progress, something that can transpire that's positive, whatever did occur in the past that's causing this grief and sorrow. Surrounding a connection or relationship, and again, I do feel like there is a decision to be made regarding this situation surrounding this relationship. Lovers in reverse can indicate choices being made for the wrong reasons, can indicate disruption within a connection or relationship, separation. The Lovers does indicate a significant relationship. It does not have to be a romantic or intimate connection. It can be family, friend, coworker. It just means a significant relationship that is very meaningful to you. Okay, so we have Temperance. And then the King of Swords in reverse is clarifying the Queen of Swords. Interesting. King of Cups in reverse. Six of Swords. Ace of Wands, clarifying the Two of Wands. Seven of Cups. The Five of Cups in reverse. And then the Sun. So I feel like the King of Swords is probably the person you're dealing with. Gemini, I do feel like these are two separate energies, and I do want to remind all of my viewers that you could be either one of these characters, whatever resonates for you. But there's something that needs to be worked out between these two, and I feel like there's a significant disagreement. The King of Swords can be somebody who's very cold, decisive, and cruel in nature. Someone who's also highly intelligent but uses his words in maybe even an abusive way. There's some kind of disagreement between these two. It does have to do, it is an emotional disagreement. It does have to do with an emotional connection, but I do feel like both of these energies are almost removed from that part of it. It may be even purposeful. Right now, I think that this King of Cups is the same person as the King of Swords, and I feel like this person is emotionally unavailable or not allowing himself to show emotions. Could be detached, or someone who is just unwilling to include that piece into whatever's occurring. I'm gonna feel a sneeze coming on. It may not come out. Okay, it went back into my nose for now, for the time being. Okay, so there's a certain level of confusion with regard to this relationship. Not certain about what may transpire or what decision might be made. If there is a possibility for a new beginning or to start over or to start again, there is some kind of potential for a new start possibly, or something brand new coming in. But there's still some uncertainty surrounding this relationship. It could be that this king is getting ready to part ways, leave this behind, even though there is an opportunity to start again or start over. There's a sense that he may have made the decision to go on his merry way, to leave this behind. He feels very emotionally detached or incapable, maybe, even of expressing himself, or incapable of feeling, incapable of allowing emotions. And maybe that's even needed in this situation. That in order to move forward, in order to make some positive decisions, that there needs to be some healing, and there needs to be some acceptance, and there needs to be some willingness to do the work and to identify the problem or identify what's blocking movement forward. And I do feel it's, again, that emotional piece, lack of emotions or lack of willingness to be affected emotionally. I think this Queen of Swords is handling herself very well, and I think this King of Swords is not. And she may be approaching the situation kind of in a direct sense, or being a little bit blunt with her communication, or trying to avoid being overly emotional with this King of Swords because of his approach to her, or his inability to address the emotional factor in this situation. Now, again, Queen of Swords, King of Swords, the last thing I get is intimate and emotional connection or romance. This may not be a romantic connection at all. What I am getting more than anything is that there is a lack or an unwillingness to express oneself, or to admit that this, whatever's going on between these two, does have an emotional impact on one or both parties, Gemini. So let's get this next set of cards out. We have the Two of Swords again in reverse. Two of Wands this time in reverse. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Three of Pentacles in reverse. Judgment in reverse. King of Swords this time in the upright position. Eight of Cups in reverse. And then the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay, so to me it feels like this Queen of Swords is lacking the ability to make any decisions in this situation, because I think this King of Swords is unwavering, unwilling to compromise, unwilling to see another's point of view, and he's not allowing himself to be emotionally connected or affected by whatever is happening, whatever decisions need to be made or have been made. And so there is a lack of progress, at least right now. I think this Queen of Swords feels like she has an understanding that if she doesn't baby this king, if she doesn't make him feel like she's willing to bend or concede because of his response or his unwillingness to compromise, that he might eventually come around and see that he's made mistakes, that he's made some poor decisions with regard to this relationship. And there might be some hope that this situation heals itself and that this king realizes his error, his error in ways. Because I do feel like right now, it almost feels like this king is kind of throwing a little bit of a temper tantrum. And I'm not throwing shade. I'm not trying to make this person look like the bad guy in any way. I'm just trying to describe what I'm seeing in the cards, and it's almost like this queen has an understanding that if she removes that piece of the equation where she's willing to entertain the reaction that she's getting from this king, she's not willing to nurture the lack of emotion. She's not willing to give any weight to this king's inability to compromise. And because she's coming at this king with a very direct approach, there's hope here that he will eventually come to terms with kind of seeing some error in his ways. Maybe some bad decisions that he made, or maybe see his lack of compromise and come to terms with what's going on here and fix things on his own. In other words, this queen is not coddling this king. And I get that from the Queen of Pentacles. I do believe that this is your energy, Gemini. Just not willing to coddle this individual. Not willing to entertain the temper tantrum. Turning the other cheek when this person, you know, puts on an act like, and the thing is, it's not like this person is, it's not like a temper tantrum like a child would have. It's more of a aggressive stance, a manipulative stance, if you will. Someone who's trying to push buttons, using manipulative ways rather than fair and just ways. This person's pulling the emotional strings and probably using language that's not so colorful language, I should say. Probably using colorful language or language that's not so pleasant in order to get his way. And it's not working on this Queen of Swords because she's not having it. She's like, you know, say what you want, act the way you want. This is how it is. I'm not dealing with your crap, is what I'm getting from this Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. And it's working. So we have the Ace of Wands this time in reverse. The Knight of Swords. Clarifying the King of Swords. Again, I'm getting a lot of anger, kind of resentment, or just kind of blunt and harsh reactions from this individual. Seven of Swords, clarifying the King of Cups. This person might be trying to pull one over on you, Gemini. We have the Chariot in reverse. There's the Queen of Swords again, clarifying the Ace of Wands. King of Swords again in reverse. He's at her 3 times now. Eight of Cups again in reverse with the same set of cards. And then the 10 of Cups. Okay, so the good news is there is a possibility for a very positive outcome if this king accepts some responsibility and makes some progress, because right now he's not. But I do believe that this queen is telling it like it is. She's saying, look, there is an opportunity here to start again, to have a fresh start, to make the right decisions, to fix what's been broken, to fix the errors in our ways. But you're going to need to accept some responsibility regarding the wrongdoings that have occurred, your approach, your method of communication, your inability to compromise, your inability to see your reckless ways when it comes to how you're communicating and how you're acting. And that's really caused the problem more than anything else. I think this king is going to come around. I think this king is going to see that he's caused the confusion through his own actions and words. So Gemini, if you are this Queen of Swords, and I feel like you are, but remember, you could be the King of Swords too. A lot of air energy on the table for sure. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working. You are having an effect that may not feel very positive right now. It might not feel like you're making any progress or any headway, but it is having an effect that will ultimately change the course of this king's way of thinking, way of communicating. There is a good possibility that there will be healing here, and there is hope for a comeback and positive outcome. Let's get this last round of cards out. You have the Devil in reverse. There's the Queen of Pentacles, this time in the upright position. Five of Pentacles. Justice. Nine of Wands in reverse. Eight of Wands. Four of Cups in reverse. And then the Fool in reverse. Stop pulling on my hair. So I get the feeling like this king expects a certain reaction from you, and he's not getting it. He expects the Queen of Pentacles, kind of a mothering, nurturing individual, somebody who puts others first, somebody who cares for others, very loyal, very compassionate. He's expecting that as a result of his temper tantrum, his nasty ways. He's expecting to be coddled, and the Queen of Swords is not having it. She's like, nah, I'm not putting up with that shit anymore. I'm not going to do it. Why would I put up with that crap? You figure this shit out, and then, come to me with a more mature approach, because I am not going to nurture this kind of energy. This Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, she's not having it. She's not putting up with the crap. Good for you, Gemini. Because this person really is putting it all out there. This person wants a reaction from you, wants to be coddled, but your approach, your response, has this person maybe thinking twice. About how he is responding to you, how he's communicating, the decisions he's making. I think that he might be doubting, this King of Swords might be doubting a positive outcome. Maybe not even clear that yet. Not clear that why he's getting the response from you that he is, Gemini, but he's going to figure it out. I don't know that he has changed his ways yet, or his methods of communication, his responses to you. I don't think that he's done that yet, or at least that's what the cards are indicating, but there is potential for that. If this person has left the building, for example, if this person decided to throw his tantrum and then walk out, and that's possible for some of you, he's going to come back. Eight of Cups out here twice. He will come back once he realizes his part in this whole situation. And Gemini, you're doing exactly what you need to do. You are acting the part of the nurturer, the caregiver, the loyal partner, by not babying this individual, by turning the other cheek when the undesirable behavior is thrown your way. Does that make sense? And it's having the right effect on this individual. I'm going to take this card. But he's still not in that place where he can accept that just a tweak in his approach, his response, his methods of communication, just a little tweak. Well, a big tweak. It's going to have to be a big tweak, because it's going to have to go from the King of Swords in reverse to the King of Swords in the upright. The potential's there, though. Once he sees that, he's responsible for a big part of the problems that are occurring, he will figure it out and make positive change. So we have healing in reverse that came out for you. This is one of the major arcana cards for this Dreams of Gaia Tarot, and I will read it from the book. It's a potential blockage if it comes out in reverse. And we'll see if this can give you any clarity for your situation. The potential blockage is just about a third of a page. It's not very long. So I'm going to read this from the book, and I'll display the card for you in the upright. Gemini, here we go. When the healing card appears in the reversed position, it may signify a resistance to getting help and healing that could be born of fear. If you are experiencing an unresolved dis-ease, ask yourself if you are trying to treat it as a mind over matter situation when your inner wisdom tells you it needs more than that. If that is the case, do not be afraid. More often than not, we imagine the situation to be so much worse than it is. Reality is often very different. Do not prevent an opportunity for healing because you are afraid, or hold on to a stubborn belief that you can handle it, or heal yourself if you just think positively. Positivity and prayer can work miracles, but not when they are being used as wound dressings over an untreated or infected wound. You do not have to endure alone. Reach out and ask for help. Do not let your fears prevent you from finding the treatment and help that you need. So I think this card is actually advice for this King of Swords. What I'm getting more than anything is that you can't ignore the issue. You can't put a Band-Aid over the issue and pretend it's not there, or pretend it's just going to get better on its own. There is some fear and resentment and reluctance to move forward and make some positive moves in the right direction with regard to this King's actions and words. But again, I do feel that this help is coming in the form of this Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, who is giving this king some really good advice, making head over heart decisions, nurturing when it's needed, and not nurturing when the behavior doesn't warrant it. In other words, you're not going to coddle a toddler that's throwing a fit over, something that he did wrong. You have to face the consequences of the decisions and the actions that you make. And if they're poor decisions, own up to them. Deal with it in the right manner. Make things right by addressing the situation and not ignoring it. And healing will occur. And accept help. And if this queen is, and I'm talking to the King of Swords now, so if you are the King of Swords in this reading, if this queen is coming at you with a head over heart approach and willing to offer help and support, but not coddle you and baby you because you've made some poor decisions, accept that help and then start accepting your part in what went wrong and make some progress forward by making those decisions for yourself. Queen of Swords, who I feel like I'm talking to more than anybody else in this reading, because you came out second card. You're doing what you need to do. Keep up the good work. This king will come around. You're doing everything right. Congratulations, Gemini. I think that this was a positive reading, honestly. It sounds like there's some hard things going on between the two of you or in this situation, but I think progress will be made. I think there's hope. I think that there is going to be some growth here and some significant movement forward. It's going to be slow. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen for you. The outcome cards look very positive. Okay, Gemini, so I'm going to leave that here. We have the star too, by the way. I'm going to leave that here. I hope that this reading gave you some clarity, helped you out in some way, shape, or form. If it did resonate, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you want to. I always appreciate those. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you again soon. Bye, Gemini. Take care.